written by women. That checks out. Oh wait, no, that one's not. But that one has Timothée Chalamet in the movie, so again, that checks out. Hey! Welcome to the channel. My name's Elizabeth and I like to read books. Apparently, I like to read a lot of memoirs. I didn't realize this until I was trying to make a list of my favorite books and I was like,
too many memoirs.
Gotta narrow it down.
So, these are the ones that I already talked about. You should watch that video. I just decided to narrow it down to 7? Maybe more? I don't know. There's like kind of a lot. I might have to film a part 2 of this. If that's something you're even interested in.
I don't know.
Let me know. Educated by Tara Westover. I'm not trying to rank them because my
Brain can't handle that.
but this is probably up there with my all-time favorite books. This is the story of Tara, who grew up in Idaho to, I don't want to say crazy, but like crazy parents who basically didn't believe in doctors or government or school, homeschooled them, which
There's nothing wrong with homeschooling.
but it was like really extreme because they didn't even really homeschool them. They just forced their children to work in their junkyard. It was super dangerous. She essentially teaches herself everything, big brain, and then goes to college. It's about growing up, realizing that your family is not the best, and getting away from that and learning. Basically talks about the power of education and the struggles of growing up in an abusive family. It's an incredible story. I think I read it 4 years ago and I'm still thinking about it. Would recommend. Triggers, look them up because it's one of those, you know. Next. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. The book that has taken the internet by storm. Jeanette McCurdy, she was Sam Puckett on iCarly, and she wrote this memoir about her mom and how she forced her to act, even though she didn't want to, encouraged her to have an eating disorder from a very young age, and then she died from cancer, which was a very emotional and difficult experience. So she goes through therapy and she deals with this all in this book. It's so well written. Like, I actually read it with my mom. We listened to the audiobook, which I would recommend the audiobook because she reads it herself and it was so good. It also talks about the abuse that she experiences by Dan Schneider. It was such an interesting read. If you liked Nickelodeon, I think that you'll definitely like this book, but even if not, I think it has something for everyone. And also, I loved it because it really was funny. Like, there were moments where I was laughing out loud, even though it's dealing with such difficult subject matter. She is so, I guess, resilient and able to discuss it in a very respectful way, and she's able to like add comedy. I love when people are able to talk about important stuff but also make it funny but do it in a respectful way, which I think she does. So well done. I literally read it a week ago and it's already made it on this list. Next is the book that instilled a deep fear of
Crystal meth
in me. This is Beautiful Boy by David Sheff, the only book whose movie cover is better. Look at that beautiful boy. It's written from a father to his son, or about his son, and it's basically just about addiction and how that completely disrupted their lives, not only the life of the addict, but his family and the people who loved him. It's a beautiful story. It's extremely vulnerable. I read it, I think, in one day. Also, the movie starring Timothée Chalamet and Steve Carell is also really good. This is just one of those books that I want everyone to read. I think it also really humanizes addiction and puts a face to it because he was this really bright, gifted kid who then fell into addiction, and it was because he also had other mental health issues that were undiagnosed. Addiction is a complicated disease is often further complicated by co-occurring psychological disorders. Living with it is always a challenge and sometimes a torment, but those diseases are treatable. I'll say it again, don't give up hope. The next book is a little bit lighter. It is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This was one of those books that after reading it, I wanted to go buy a copy and give it as a gift to all of my friends. It's a book about growing up, navigating your 20s. It's everything she knows about love, from romantic to friendships to familial, like all kinds of love. It's just all about the scary, uncertain aspects of being an early adult female. I just related to it. It gave me hope. No one really knows what they're doing in their 20s. We're all figuring it out. I don't know, it's super vulnerable and funny. A really like good memoir. Next up, Becoming by Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama's just a queen. I don't know, do I really have to explain myself on this one?
Constantly raising the bar for us all.
This is such a good book, and also I feel like you might see this book and be like, politics. Obviously Michelle Obama is a political figure, and so politics are ingrained in the story of her life, but I feel like politics were more of a backdrop upon which she is living her life as a daughter and a wife and and a mother and a human female African-American woman in the United States. It's a very personal story and it's a very vulnerable story, and Michelle Obama has all of the grace and all of the wisdom of like an older sister or like a mom. Honestly, I kind of grew up with the Obama administration, and so Michelle Obama is like kind of like a mother figure to me.
And I love you.
It's about a girl who was born in Chicago to a poor family, and she grew up wanting to achieve better for herself. And then she fell in love with Barack Obama and he wanted to become president, and she was like, do you really want to do that? Like, I don't know. And then she stood by him even though she didn't really want that life for them. She knew it was important, and then she became the first African-American first lady. She's like this icon, but she's also so relatable and funny and down to earth. I loved reading this book because I just gained so much respect and admiration for her as a woman, like despite her politics, although I do respect her politics, just like her as a person. Her story is amazing and it's such a good book. Oh, also I read the book, but Michelle reads the audiobook and I've heard that that is really well done. Maybe try it out. Ooh, this is a man. He's a gay man, but it's a man. I Am Not Myself These Days by Josh Kilmer Purcell, who was working as an advertising agent during the day, and A Drag Queen Aqua by night.
A drag queen?
There's a fish on the cover because he put goldfish into implants that he wore.
Slay!
That's just a fun little factoid. And also how he was dealing with an alcohol addiction, and he was in relationship with a man who had a cocaine?
Crack cocaine.
Basically, abusive relationship with a drug addict and his alcohol addiction. So there's a lot there to unpack. It has very dark themes, but it's a comedy kind of. Basically, he's just like laughing at his trauma. No, comedy is a great coping mechanism, but it's still done with respect. It's just crazy. Like, the things that happen are insane. It's a wild ride. It's like a really fun book, even though it's dealing with some difficult subject matter, but we love to see it. Next, World of Wonders. I don't actually know how to pronounce her last name. I was actually gifted this book from my school because the author is a professor there. It was also, I think, Barnes & Noble's book of the year for 2020. This is a unique memoir because it's sort of a collection. It is a collection of essays, but I wouldn't really call them essays. They're more poetic prose stories. She talks about different aspects of nature and how they relate to her. That sounds boring, but it's not. It is so beautiful and so well done. And I really loved this book, and I loved all of the stories. She just has this beautiful way with words. Just want to like drink it up. The blurb is in praise of fireflies, whale sharks, and other astonishments. As a child, she called many places home, no matter how awkward the fit or forbidding the landscape. What the peacock can do, she tells us, is remind you of a home you will run away from and run back to all your life. It's very lyrical and beautiful, and it just sort of like sparks awe at the world and her story. So I would recommend it, obviously, because that's what this video is. I think those are all of the books that I feel like talking about today. I definitely have more. There are more memoirs on my list that I like, so if you're interested, comment below if this is something that you would want more of.
Let me know if you want me to make book videos on my book channel.
I'm sorry, that was so mean. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe. And I'll see you later, alligator.
Said I'm done.